Happening now, the latest on a late-night crash that sent one person to the hospital near Fredonia. And we hear from the Democratic candidate running for New York's 23rd congressional seat. Plus, Easter celebrations, they kick off early here in Chautauqua County.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Our latest local news is coming up, but first let's get a check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with that. And happy Monday to you, Dakota, albeit where Easter's on the horizon, but it's not really feeling like spring out there today.
Oh, you just wait, Justin. We've got some spring air on the way for this week, and the Chautauqua Lake Skycam kind of showing you the clouds have started to move in across parts of the area, so the sunshine that we've had is going to go behind clouds, and we are going to see at least a few rain showers as we go through the afternoon. Now, the rain showers that we've had across northwestern Pennsylvania kind of fizzled out as it moved our way, so we are going to stay dry for the early part of the afternoon, but understand you will be dodging some raindrops later on in the afternoon hours. Yesterday's high was only 38. Look at the average, 55. And the records for today are 81 and 7. So the forecast for today, some sunshine, then it will hide behind clouds with showers arriving. Could see a couple rumbles of thunder through the afternoon, 57 to 64 with a south wind. Now temperatures continue to rise from here through the middle of the week. Then we get into some rain. More of it. We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a little bit. Thank you. One person was hurt following a late-night crash on Interstate 90 in Fredonia on Sunday. The Fredonia Fire Department responded to the single-vehicle accident on the New York State Thruway's westbound lane at around 10:20 last night. One person was taken via ambulance to Brook Hospital. The crash is now under investigation by state police. Fredonia's Rescue 12, Engine 15, Car 14, and state police responded to that scene there. A new program to help quell the growing number of stray cats in Jamestown is now in the works. The City of Jamestown's council is scheduled to learn more about the topic during Monday night's work session meeting at the Northwest Arena. During the special meeting, which is scheduled to highlight the arena's zone project, the Chautauqua County Humane Society Director will discuss the proposed plan. Now, according to the meeting's agenda, officials eye working with the Humane Society to trap, neuter, and vaccinate community cats. In total, the initiative would cost $5,000. The money is already allocated in the city's budget. Stray cats have become an increasing problem in the area over the past few years, with those at the Humane Society stressing the importance of spaying and neutering animals to help with this issue. The Democratic Party has finalized their candidate for the New York 23rd Congressional District race as Oswego resident Max Della, who's throwing his hat into the ring. Our Julia Gress is breaking down an interview with our news team as the candidate explains why he's running for this competitive seat.
Max Della says he is running his life based on one of his dad's sayings, "Service is what gives life purpose." The candidate spent over 30 years in the Air Force and believes running for Congress is a continuation of his life of service.
I feel like our system of government is at risk. Democracy is at risk. I think if we can't depend on a peaceful transition of power, we're not the beacon on the hill that we want to be. We're actually more like a banana republic, and that's not where I want to be, and that's not why I spent 30 years defending our democracy and our Constitution.
The Democrat says Republican candidate Claudia Tenney cannot properly represent this district as she does not live in it or understand its needs. Tenney currently represents NY22 but is running for NY23 due to redistricting.
The infrastructure bill is something that is often in historic context. You know, usually it's everybody wants, there are things that everyone needs. So they work together and they come up with something that's going to make sense. Well, the person I'm running against, she voted against it. And I don't know if you noticed the Politico, there was actually a quote She was trying to get credit for working so hard to get, I think it was 4 projects in that bill. And then she didn't vote for it.
Among the candidates' priorities if elected is providing quality jobs by way of the infrastructure bill and supporting small businesses. Della believes these two things are related, as services like high-speed internet will provide better access for these businesses.
ARPA funding for Jamestown. We need housing stability, and we need to revitalize neighborhoods. There's economic and workforce development. There's resident health and well-being, both mental health and physical health. And those things about health that people from perhaps the other side say, let's just everybody pay for their own and whatever. It's really not working for the United States.
Along with healthcare, Della believes creating proper incentive to keep residents in the area is crucial for the long-term well-being of the district. He says creating cooperation between school and work training programs could help decrease the labor shortage and increase the retention of population. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. Though this is not Della first time running for office, he believes his party's endorsement and his 4 years of experience as a Democratic committee chair for Tioga County will improve his odds this fall. You can watch our full interview with the candidate posted online later today at WNYNewsNow.com and on Channel 716 on Roku. Well, Easter celebrations came early for those in the village of Fredonia this weekend. Festivals Fredonia held their inaugural celebration of the Christian holiday on Saturday. The event featured a pancake breakfast for families at the Fredonia Grange, along with a wide variety of local vendors. Families also had the opportunity to have their picture taken with the Easter Bunny himself. Now, after that breakfast, children took part in an egg hunt at the Barker Commons downtown, where the Fredonia Fire Department delivered the fuzzy friend. Festivals Fredonia has a long history in the local community, as the group's vice president Mark Mackey explains.
Festivals Fredonia has been going since 1995. I started out with just a couple festivals, but we've combined other festivals. We're up to 6 festivals now. This one is our first year attempting this, so we weren't sure what to expect. However, as you can see behind me, we've had a great turnout for this pancake breakfast.
Mackey says his organization saw a noticeable increase in attendance after their 1-year hiatus due to the pandemic. With the impressive turnout, officials hope to host the Easter Festival again next year. For more information or to volunteer, check out their website. It's festivalsfredoniany.org. As WNY News Now continues, the state budget has now been signed into law. We're taking a closer look at the bail reform changes enacted in that legislation. And later, a popular Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback dies suddenly after he was hit by a vehicle. We're hearing from fans in the region who are mourning today. Stay with us. WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Whoa, Pre-Comic Book Day is almost here.
There's comic books for all ages.
Stop on down to Stockwell Comics at 214 Fairmount Avenue in Jamestown and pick up some free comics. From superheroes to science fiction, there are tons of options.
100% free. Just show up on May 7th starting at 11 a.m.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area. Plus, end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
State Senator George Borrello is calling out New York's bail reform modifications included in the just-passed budget, saying, quote, glaring omissions regard the judicial discretion. On Saturday, Governor Kathy Hochul signed the $220 billion budget, which features a number of topics, including amending the controversial bail reform law. Now, the budget follows through with Hochul's proposal to give judges more power to jail people who were repeatedly ticketed for minor theft or property damage offenses. However, State Senator George Borrello feels the change doesn't go far enough, as he highlighted while debating the bill on Friday. Specifically, he sounded off about the lack of dangerousness in the clauses.
Judges have never been able to hold anyone based on dangerousness in New York State. New York actually is the only state that has tried to address changes to cashless bail and actually have not considered dangerousness. So that's what makes New York unique, because unfortunately, the goal here wasn't to craft a responsible law. The goal here was to prove New York was the most progressive. And that's why we are where we are today.
Bail changes were signed into law in 2019 by then-Governor Andrew Cuomo. Since then, GOP leaders like Borrello have highlighted an increase in crime across New York. The state senator has called for the total repeal of the law in the past. Nearly 1,800 firearms have been removed from New York State streets. That's according to Governor Kathy Hochul. This comes 2 months since she started an interstate task force on illegal guns. New York State Police alone has increased gun tracing investigations by 75% and has doubled the number of gun seizures. State Police has also recovered 20 ghost guns and conducted 167 gun tracing investigations in the first 3 months of this year. From these cases, New York State Police forwarded 35 investigative leads to 17 states in which a resident of that state was arrested in New York and illegally possessing and trafficking firearms in the Empire State. And more than 70 million over-the-counter COVID-19 tests have been distributed in New York in recent months. This is part of Governor Hochul's efforts to keep New Yorkers protected during the pandemic. At-home rapid tests are being provided regularly to schools and nursing homes throughout the Empire State. Elected officials in the state have received more than 2.8 million tests at no cost. While at-home testing plays a role in identifying cases and curbing the spread, people are urged to get vaccinated and boosted as the best method to protect yourself against COVID. New Yorkers ages 50 and over are encouraged to get their second booster, that according to CDC guidance. Well, after hearing that the news of a famed Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback passing away over the weekend, we wanted to know how Steeler fans and football fans felt about the passing of the young player. Erie News Now's Keelan Berrien hearing from fans across the region.
A player that a lot of fans thought had many years ahead of him dies at the age of 24, and many Steeler fans are devastated.
It's a very sad news.
Really heartbreaking.
It's a disgrace.
After news broke out about the third-string quarterback, Steelers head coach went to Twitter saying he's devastated and lost for words, calling him one of his hardest workers. Even the Pittsburgh Penguins tweeted giving their condolences to the Steelers nation. However, the loss hits harder to Joe Fletcher. He followed Haskins before the NFL at Ohio State.
When he was at Ohio State, man, he was electric, you know. When he came out, he was one of the best pocket quarterbacks in the league.
But while he was pocketed in the league at Ohio State, he became the number 15 overall pick to the Washington Commanders. Football fans who doesn't pride the black and gold were also sad. Bob Meade is a fan to one of the Steelers' biggest rivals, the Cleveland Browns.
I remember he was a very accurate passer, and I always thought he was great talent. It's really just very sad for him, his family, and all of the Pittsburgh fans.
Haskins died early Saturday morning after being hit by a dump truck on South Florida Highway. According to his agent, he was training with other teammates. Here's footage from the Florida Department of Transportation of Interstate 595 where Haskins was pronounced dead on the scene, but fans are mainly hurt that he couldn't live out his full NFL career.
We need somebody who's going to have a good ability to connect with the team and ability to move forward and just bring us back to where we need to be as a team.
Football aside, it's a young man, It's a shame over something, the traffic accident, something, come on. It's a shame. He ran out of gas. No one's there to help him out. That's the saddest part about it, to be honest.
Keelan Berry and Erie News Now.
Keelan, thank you. Although Haskins didn't play a lot, fans thought he would still be a viable asset to the team and are curious to see who will be the next quarterback pick. Coming up, an update on the baby formula shortage that's impacting families. And later, despite the winter feel across our region this past weekend, race fans, they returned to a popular track for an event that kicked off the racing season. But first, when we come back, Dakota here with a full look at our weather forecast and what's to come. Stay with us. WNY News Now.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area. Hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at Northwest Arena, where both kids and parents alike can learn about activities available to youth. Later in the evening, finish out the night at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. Stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Oh, welcome back, and wanted to start off with another picture from our own Bronson Rasmussen. And of course, last week he's been on vacation out on the West Coast. Does anybody happen to know what this is? What location this is? Justin?
Oh boy, it's got to be somewhere. So he was at the Grand Canyon, right? So is this like Yosemite?
Wrong state. Yes, Yosemite. Ding, 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 ding. He's got it. This is Yosemite National Park, and this is another gorgeous picture. So again, just had to show that simply just because a lot of us are wishing it looked like this right now around here. And Storm Spotter Training, second session coming up this Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So again, if you didn't get a chance to sign up for the one that occurred last week, you can sign up for this week, 7 o'clock. Go to weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn. It is free to attend. And again, we encourage this. We need more storm spotters out there. And pollen season, it's here. We're already starting to see some hints of the tree pollen already as trees are starting to bud now. So again, that tree tree pollen, we're going to watch it go up as we go throughout the spring. Again, trees is the main pollen producer throughout the spring season. 51 as a noon hour right now, partly cloudy at the airport, but as you can see here downtown, the clouds have really started to thicken up now. But take a look at these temperatures over the next 5 days here. Look at this. We go from 60 today. How about to 71 on Wednesday? We feel confident we should go into the lower 70s, and then we start to back it down a little bit. Temperatures going around average by the time we go into Friday. So look at this big mass of rain that's down across the south. Part of what's been coming our way has actually started to fizzle out, but notice how there's more of it, and we're going to ultimately see more rain returning as we go through the afternoon and tonight. So the newest Runner Future Scan shows you that it looks like the rain should hold off until mainly the later afternoon hours into the evening hours. Could see a couple downpours associated within this, including maybe a couple rumbles of thunder as well. The rain starts to taper off through the early morning hours. Better chance for the rain shower early morning tomorrow. Then look at this. As we go through Tuesday, should be mostly sunny skies through the afternoon hours on Tuesday. Then we start to see the next chance of rain returning in here on Wednesday. That's the next storm system. And of course, that comes out ahead of the next cold front. Again, you know, the same thing we talk about. Temperatures are always the warmest ahead of the cold front. So the next 7 days, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions, there you see going into the 70s for Wednesday with rain showers. Just a few scattered showers Thursday, 61. Friday looks like the pick day. Partly to mostly sunny, but cooler, 54. The weekend, yeah, we'll be dodging a few raindrops and maybe even a few wet snowflakes again, Justin, on Sunday for Easter.
Yeah, that's not very Easterly, but I remember Easter.
The Easter Bunny, well, no, I'm not going to say what I'm going to say. Just go on.
He could get some snowshoes to hop around for sure. Dakota, thank you. A baby formula shortage in many parts of the U.S. is forcing retailers to ration their supplies now. Walgreens is limiting shoppers to 3 infant and toddler formula products per transaction. A recent review of supplies at 11,000 stores indicated that nearly 30% of baby formula brands may be sold out. Cities like San Antonio and Minneapolis are reporting out-of-stock rates for certain formulas even higher than that, well above 50%. Part of the problem stems from an Abbott Nutrition recall in mid-February for select lots of Similac and other formulas made in Sturgis, Michigan. Manufacturers are ramping up production to make up the difference, but admit it might take weeks for them to catch up. And Pope Francis has opened Holy Week yesterday with a call for an Easter truce in Ukraine to make room for a negotiated peace, highlighting the need for leaders to make some significant for the good of the people there. Celebrations in Palm Sunday happened before crowds in St. Peter's Square for the first time since the pandemic. Pope Francis called for weapons to be laid down to begin an Easter truce. Francis did not refer directly to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but that reference was clear, and he has repeatedly denounced the war and the suffering brought to innocent civilians. During the traditional Sunday blessing, it followed Palm Sunday's Mass. The pontiff said leaders should be willing to make some sacrifices for the good of the people, according to holy leaders there. After 2 years of celebrating Palm Sunday inside St. Peter's Basilica without a crowd due to COVID, the solemn celebration returned to the square outside. And today the White House is focusing on gun control. The president has a wish list of reforms headed to Congress. As Amy Kelly reports, a top priority appears to be cracking down on so-called ghost guns.
President Joe Biden is expected to propose new gun regulations today. 3 sources with knowledge of the situation say he's focused on regulating so-called ghost guns. People can put them together at home from kits, so they're hard to trace or regulate. Classifying some of their parts as firearms would change that. The effort comes as gun crimes have been rising in the U.S. with more shootings over the weekend.
My heart goes out to all of those impacted by last night's shooting.
This is another mindless and senseless gun-related incident.
A police source told CNN a ghost gun was recovered after Friday's fatal shooting of a 16-year-old girl in New York.
The bad people who want to get guns for bad purposes realize this is the easiest way to get a gun. It's even easier than going on a street corner and paying someone some money for a gun.
Also, as soon as today, Biden is expected to name his pick to lead the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. An official says the nominee is former U.S. Attorney Steve Dettelbach. Biden says he also wants Congress to mandate background checks for all gun sales, ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, allow gun makers to be found liable if their products are used in a crime, and fund crime prevention and policing. But Senate Republicans have a history of blocking gun control efforts. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And even then, with coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes! Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, this past weekend was the kickoff to the 2022 schedule for Watkins Glen International. As WNY's Sam Shapiro reports, people from all over New York got the chance to have a little fun while contributing to a good cause.
Locals were ready and set to go here at Watkins Glen International this Saturday and Sunday. People came out for opening weekend to test their own wheels on the racetrack. People could pay $25 to race 3 laps around the Watkins Glen International Racetrack. Proceeds from this weekend will be donated to various organizations in the region. WGI President Michael Printup was happy to see a large turnout despite chilly weather.
We donate to local charities, food banks, little leagues, and so forth. It's just a lot of fun to be able to do this, and everybody's coming up here, even with a little bit of snowflakes falling today. You know, we're still jamming out there and having a lot of fun.
Since yesterday, more than 1,000 people got to experience the twists and turns of the famous road course. Now that the weather is starting to get a little warmer day by day, things will start to get a little busier around the area now that the race season is upon us.
I think that's the imprint that we have in this community, and obviously our outreach is more than 100 miles or 100 miles away when you talk Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse. So I think that's the fun part, you know, and I know that's what the staff really looks forward to.
Tony Vicchio was one of the pace car drivers. He says he's excited for the upcoming race season.
Everything's going to be running with, you know, NASCAR and sailings. It's 6 hour, and it's just it gives you a good feeling. I wish the weather had been a little better, but you can't do anything about that. But the people still turned out.
And people can gear up next for the Ferrari Challenge here at WGI coming this May. More information can be found on our website at WNY.com.
All right, Sam Shapiro there. Sam, thank you. And yeah, it looks like total fun there over at Watkins Glen. I know, Dakota, you were a pretty big race fan, so was my family, so it should be. I'd like to go to one of the races. You know, maybe we could do like a company trip or something.
Yeah, Watkins Glen, the Poconos, 2 great tracks that are near the area. So
rent a cabin, hey, It's a good weekend. That's going to do it for us. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com and on our free mobile app. We'll leave you with this live look over Lakeside Park in Mayville. Have a great day.